Welcome to the podcast. I am so excited about this episode. Breanna Hensley is the digital marketing specialist in Buncombe County Schools in North Carolina. You're going to want to go to the show notes because she and her team are doing amazing things on their social media channels. We're going to focus on TikTok today, but it also translates into Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels. Buncombe is made up of 45 schools, so it's a bigger school district. They're running Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. Breanna really shares their strategy around social media and then dives into how they get content from those 45 schools. She has a couple specific tactics that if you are struggling with getting content or getting invited into your schools, you're going to want to listen. She's going to talk about how they jumped into TikTok back in August of 2022, how they're navigating whether TikTok is going to be approved or not approved through the government and all of that. And then just really shares what's working. You guys, this is an awesome episode. I'm so excited for you to learn from Breanna. And if you love learning about social media and schools and what's working, you're going to want to be on my newsletter. That link is in the show notes. You can also head over to socialschool4edu.com. It's a free newsletter that comes out every 2 weeks, delivered to you with a lot of helpful tips. And I want to tell you that my first book, my big book, I've written a children's book. My book, Social Media for Schools, is coming out soon. It's a complete guidebook, 20 chapters to guide you through strategies and tips and ideas on how to really celebrate your students and staff in a book format. So I've been writing about social media in schools, podcasting, obviously, for a couple years, learning from people across the country. And one of the biggest things that I'm most proud of in this book is how many people like a Breanna that I have featured in this book with real stories where you're going to be able to see the impact that social media is making and ideas to make it easier for you. So make sure you're signed up for that newsletter so you don't miss out. Now let's get to today's K-12 PR tip. Hey guys, before we get to the K-12 PR tip, I got a little update. Since we recorded this session with Breanna, this episode, North Carolina, the governor made a decision about TikTok, and guess what? They had to shut their channel down. They have removed some of their videos, and I have a supplemental little chat after our original interview with an update from Breanna, and you're not going to want to miss it. This is going to happen to more schools. It may have already happened to yours, and the way that Buncombe County Schools has dealt with it is really top notch and kind of best practice in regards to if you ever have to shut down an account, how to do it. And the best thing is that she's still able to tell stories in a similar way to TikTok because of Facebook and Instagram Reels. So just hang on, listen to the end, and then we've got a little bonus part where Breanna will share kind of what's happened and how they've dealt with it. So stay tuned. But first, this little K-12 PR tip. Today's K-12 PR tip is about working smarter, not harder. Some people don't like that phrase, but and I'm talking about content development. Breanna's actually going to jump into it today, talking about how some content can be used in multiple ways over time to tell your story, and you're not having to dive in and uncover a new story each and every time. So, for example, you can uncover a story that you share on your website with pictures, right? And you might be able to put that on your district website and maybe your school specific location website. But you also can create a social media post. You also could create a video about that event and maybe share that at a different time, maybe a couple weeks later, right? Even she talks about even a couple months later, where you're showcasing an activity to bring life back to maybe that article that was written. You can think about recording things for podcasts that then end up getting shared into smaller clips that can provide some great tips for parents or insights into the classroom. You can even, when you have great photos, right? You can use those for cover images on your social media channels. You can use them on your website. You can use them for promotional things and newsletters. Don't ever assume that just because you share something once, that you have reached and told the story and that's it. Okay. Some videos that you may create could be even shared multiple times out there on social media because each time you're going to reach different people. So just really want to emphasize that fact of you don't have to create something once and then just be done with it. You can repurpose, reuse, get creative. And I think that your storytelling is going to be better for it. So now let's dive into a lot more inspiration and tips with our conversation with Breanna Hensley. Welcome to the podcast. Breanna Hensley is in the house. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
It's a little warmer in North Carolina than Wisconsin right now, but that's to be expected, right? This time of year.
It's unusually warm for us down here.
Oh, really? How warm?
We've been in the 60s
Oh my
this week,
goodness.
so that
Well,
is pretty warm. Normally we're in the 40s.
yeah. Okay. You still get pretty chilly then. Well, I'm really excited to have you here. We got to see each other in person just a few months ago, and we were talking a little bit about TikTok. And I'm like, oh my gosh, Breanna, you are kind of brilliant. Not kind of, you are brilliant. And I wanted to share you with our listeners here. So Breanna, kind of share your background and then your current role as digital marketing specialist at Buncombe County Schools there in North Carolina.
Okay, yeah, I began my career here at Buncombe County Schools in November of 2021. Prior to that, I've had many job titles, including working at an auto dealership here in town called Auto Star Family Dealerships as a digital marketing specialist. I worked at the Henderson County Visitor Center in Hendersonville, North Carolina, as a digital communications specialist. And then I have been a morning news producer at a TV station in Johnson City, Tennessee, WJHL. And then I've been an on-air personality at WAEZ Bristol Broadcasting facility in Bristol, Virginia.
Wow. So what was your background as far as like college goes?
It was actually a roller coaster ride. I changed my major a few different times. I did start out as an elementary education major,
Okay.
and then changed my mind my last semester basically, and decided I was ready to go into the TV film industry. So that's when I changed to mass communications with a concentration of radio, TV, film,
Okay.
and I minored in small business management.
Okay. Oh, what a perfect combination now that you're in your role. And I love that you started out as like an elementary teacher. So that passion for education must have been kind of deeply ingrained, right?
Yes, ma'am. I worked for over 8 years at an organization called Girls Incorporated. And I started there at 15, and that's where I got my passion to want to work with kids and be with kids. And then it kind of changed a little in college, but now I found my way back to it. And I say I have the best of both worlds.
Yeah, definitely. So, and I love all of your different experiences, whether it be TV or, businesses. So tell me a little bit more specifically about Buncombe County Schools.
Okay,
With
yeah, we're located in the heart of the Blue Ridge Mountains. We're in Asheville, North Carolina. We are the 13th largest school district in the state of North Carolina. We service 45 schools. I believe, don't don't count me on this one, but I think we have over 5,000 employees as well. I know
Okay.
we are the second largest employer here in Buncombe County.
Okay. And so with the 45 schools, do you know approximately the number of students you have?
No, not off the top of my head.
Okay, that's okay because I mean it's pretty big.
Yeah.
So I'm sure. And then what does your communication department look like just so that we have an idea for our listeners?
Yeah, there's 4 of us in the department. Our director is Stacia Harris, and she's our leader, fearless leader, I should say. So she helps us through a lot, and she does a lot for us. Then we have assistant director of communications, Tim Reeves, and then we have Han Henson, who is a digital storyteller. And I mean, together we all have our special little qualities that we're good at, and we really work together cohesively and make it a good goal to promote the schools and the students and what goes on here.
Yeah, and I've got all of your social media channels linked today. I know today we're going to kind of dive into a little bit of TikTok and kind of how you're using that platform. But I was really impressed with looking at your different social media sites. So I'm just kind of curious, like, how does social media fit into your role specifically? And then kind of how do you manage social media in your district, both at the district level and then at the school levels?
Yeah, so there's not a day that goes by that I'm not using some kind of social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or TikTok. We are on it constantly. We try to post as much as we can each day, usually at least 2 posts a day. Some days we get more than that out. But that's how we handle it at the district level. The individual schools, we try to tell them that they need to have 2 to 3 promotional posts a week at their schools that they come up with themselves and that they generate, because 45 schools, it's hard to get to every single one of them.
Yeah, definitely. So they're posting, and when you say promotional, it's like celebrating what's happening at their school, right?
Yeah, for us, promotional is, an engaging activity that's going on at the school, or a guest visitor, a field trip, or just promoting like a student who's done really well, or a staff member who's exceeding at their job. And the staff member could be all the way from like cafeteria workers to custodial, all the way up to the teachers or the front office staff.
Yeah. I just wanted to differentiate that because I do trainings for schools where they've got the school level, and sometimes it's just all a flyer, like promoting an event coming up, and it's like, oh, it's so much more than that, right? Those
That
That's kind of
and
like the
that's
bulletin board.
exactly what we tell our schools, that's fine to post about the book fair coming up or the PTO meeting. That's great, that's fine, but show people what is happening in the classroom. We wanna see what's happening inside the building. People drive by it all the time, but they're not able to see inside the classroom.
Yeah. And what I see on your district page that I just really want to compliment you and your team on is a lot of times the district can feel really stale and more like just overarching things, but you're diving into the classroom stuff, like those stories, and you're doing it consistently. So, how do you get that content? Are you going out and getting all of that, or do you follow any of the school pages? Are you pulling some of that from those pages? How does that work?
Yeah, great question. So it's a mix of what you kind of said of everything. We do share what the schools are posting. Like if they've got a great post with good content, great photos or videos, whatever it may be, we will show or share that to our district page. And that's been really engaging and done really good overall. We've seen that with the analytics. Then we also I started this year emailing, and I have 45 groups for each school that has every teacher of that school, and it's got the principals in it. So I will email them once a month, sometimes every other week. What do you have coming up in the next couple weeks or this month? What do you have planned? Let me know. And in my email, I include some ideas of what we're looking for to promote. I'll say field trips, outdoor classroom activities, um, volunteer work, STEM classes, art classes, music classes, CTE, whatever it might be. That's what we are looking for. And I'll tell them that. I'm like, send me your ideas, and I tell people too, I'm like, we can't get to everybody, but we will do our best.
Mhm.
So it's not a guarantee just because I send out the email that we will be covering your activity or your lesson. But we want to know what engaging activities are going on. And since I started that email group, I've really gotten schools who now will email me. I don't have to email them. They're emailing me that like, hey, we're doing this on this day. We wanted you to know about it. And it's been phenomenal. And then another way that we're getting this content is excuse me, is that they're emailing us, we're emailing them, constant communication. Sometimes we even pop into the schools unannounced.
Yeah.
Like we'll go to them and we'll say, "Hey, I was in the area. What's going on? Let
Hmm.
me see some classrooms." And sometimes the principals, since we have our badge and we are a Buncombe County Schools employee, they'll say, "Walk around the building, hop in the classes." Sometimes they'll say, "Here, let me take you to what's going on."
Hmm.
So, I mean, that's also really nice too.
Yeah.
And they're loving seeing the content that we're putting out. They love seeing that we're on TikTok and they get so excited. The teachers just love it. They eat it up. Students are eating it up. Staff, I mean, anyone.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I love it. You're being really proactive. What do you have planned? And not just asking what do you got going on. You're giving them specific ideas because then all of a sudden they'll be like, "Oh, yeah, we're doing that." Cuz these teachers are doing awesome things every day.
Yes.
But they sometimes they don't realize it and it's just like, "Oh, yeah, we do have that." So I'm glad to hear that that is working and I think that's some great advice for our listeners. So let's jump into TikTok because you just talked about it. You have dove into that. When did you start your TikTok account?
We started it in August of last year, so August of 2022, just before the school year started. And with that, we were new to it. We didn't have any current videos really to post. So we were going through and posting some of the stuff we did from the summer prior to August, and then we were posting like throwback videos from last school year, which was great. It got the page up and going until school started back.
Right. And I'm just trying to bring it up right now because I was looking at it this morning. So everybody, we've got the link. What is your handle there for TikTok?
At Buncombe Schools, I
Okay.
believe. Hold on,
Um,
I want to double
yeah,
check that.
Buncombe Schools, and it's
Yes,
Buncombe schools.
yes.
So right now 318 followers. So what kinds of content do you actually try to share then on TikTok? I know how you talked about what you just started out with, but what's kind of been performing the best for you?
We have one video on there that I mean, it's doing excellent. It's got over I think 3,000 views
Okay.
on TikTok. And it's the funniest little video, and it's one that I actually did. One of our high school classes, I think it was the AP calculus class. They were taking measurements and data and collecting all of this in order to come up with their calculations
Okay.
on what they were calculating is they were tying rubber bands, as many
Mhm.
rubber bands or as little rubber bands as possible, to Barbie doll's feet. And they were launching them over the balcony of the school.
Oh my gosh.
So it's Barbie bungee jumping. And it
Oh,
like the kids were loving it. I mean, it was really cool. And I got a few different shots, like stood in different places to get it. But yeah, I put the video together. I found some like Barbie theme song music for a Barbie movie or something, slap that on there. I even tagged Barbie in in the post itself, but that's been our best performing video. And
yeah.
I don't think it was real long. It might be like 20 seconds, 30 seconds. So super easy. I mean, and it wasn't much work. It was more visual to tell that story by using TikTok than it was to take photos and write a story.
Yeah. I'll link directly so that everybody can grab that Barbie video. Breanna, I don't know about you, but man, did I love my Barbies when I was young. And I don't know if I'd be able to handle seeing them go over a ledge trying to bungee jump, but I'm amazed that I guess bungee jumping wasn't really big
They
back in
even
the
had the
80s.
teacher provided like little action superheroes too. So it
Oh,
wasn't just Barbie, like they were launching Batman and different things over. So
okay.
it was pretty cool. But um with that, I mean, we just go into these classrooms and, we'll take a few cell phone clips, and if we can turn it into a TikTok, we do. Sometimes we will steal photos off of schools' Facebook pages and throw those up into a little video and make them a TikTok. We will even see if the schools post a video on their Facebook page. We will ask them to send that to us. Send us that video and we put that on there. It's super easy. And then, sometimes during the school year, it gets so busy with 45 schools, like everybody's doing something at the same time. We can't cover it all. So I tell people, I'm like, send me some photos, or if you have time and would like to, take a few 10, 15 second at max video clips, say 4 or 5, send them to me, and I'll be happy to edit that together and make the TikTok of the event that happened.
Right. And that is such a helpful tool, whether you're doing, I mean, obviously there's TikTok, there's Instagram Reels, there's Facebook
Mhm.
Reels, which you're really utilizing all of those, which I want to talk about. But when you do a Facebook post, you can't do multiple videos in the same post. And so I think these editing tools that highlight the video, that makes it so much easier for us too. So one of the questions that I just have, because I'm looking at your Instagram Reels page now, you've got 6,600 followers on Instagram. And so it looks like you're using the same TikTok video and
Mhm.
you are uploading that onto Instagram Reels and Facebook Reels. Is that right?
Yes, ma'am. The cool thing about TikTok is as soon as you hit publish and that video gets uploaded, it saves automatically to your cell phone into your photos. So all I do is once it uploads, I've already copy and pasted my description from TikTok. I go into Reels and go into Facebook, upload, paste the same tag, so I'm not having to retype it, and just upload it. And I do it that way because if you're on Facebook Reels or Instagram Reels and you see the video, you will see TikTok at Buncombe Schools. So that way, if you want to go to our TikTok page and check it out as well, you can. You can find us easily, no matter which platform you're on.
Sure. And from what I see, I mean, you've got thousands of views where you might just have a couple hundred on TikTok. So it's not like Meta, who
Yeah.
owns Facebook and Instagram. It's not like it's really downgrading it because it's a TikTok video. Is that right? I mean, in your opinion?
No, I mean it does great. We've not had any issues. We have found that we have more options and selections with TikTok, especially with the songs. Like there's more variety on
Hmm.
TikTok than what you have on Reels. So we like that. We like to be able to pick and choose what we're adding
Yeah.
with the videos.
And there's no worry about copyright when you're using the TikTok videos over on those other channels?
No, we've not had any issue with that at all either.
Okay. So what kind of feedback have you received and, kind of who's watching your TikTok channel there?
The primary reason we started launching TikTok is it's 2023. Next school year, we're going to have possibly kindergartners who have parents that are in their, you know, early to middle 20s. And
Hmm.
that demographic, from statistics has shown that they're not most of them aren't always on Facebook. They're kind of getting a little bit away from Instagram now too, and a lot of them are on TikTok. So we were like, we need to reach these potential parents, the younger ones, and how can we do that? So that's why we launched the TikTok account, was to reach potential parents, to even reach our current parents, and then also reach students, former students, community members, whoever. And it's been a great way too to connect with others across the country or the world, so they can see like what it is our kids are learning and doing. And maybe they might want to implement something like that in their classroom.
Mhm.
Because, you can learn great ideas from others that way as well. But our primary goal was to reach those potential parents and let them see this is what your child could be doing if they come to Buncombe County Schools.
Yeah. I've got 2 kids in their 20s, lower 20s, and 4 in their teens, and so often they'll be telling me something, it's like, "Where'd you learn that?" It's like, "TikTok." So, there's a lot out there, we can think of it all as dance videos or whatever, but there's a lot of useful things, as well, and so I think that's great that you're kinda thinking ahead, thinking how to connect to those, folks, and what I see is that you've really been efficient because sometimes we can think of another platform, it's another thing to manage, it's really overwhelming. It seems like you've really tried to streamline things to help it make your job easier versus harder. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, it really does make it a lot easier because, like I said, going in these classrooms, a teacher may tell us of a activity they're doing, and you get in there and you start taking a few pictures, but they're not that great, if that makes any sense. Like, they don't really capture what the students are doing. And by making the TikToks, you can really get the oohs, the ahs, and the excitement of the kids in a video versus, the pictures. And I mean, we'll still take the pictures and use them if we need to on the school's website, or we'll still post them on social media. And, there are times we'll still write a story. So it's kind of like you're double dipping in a way because you're getting a story to promote on the district website, the school's website, and on social media. And then you've got the video, which when we do all of those things, we don't share them at the exact same time.
Mhm.
We may post the story first and then the TikTok videos a few weeks later or a couple months later. That way, if someone didn't see the story, they may see the video or vice versa.
Right. Yeah, you've got to share it a lot of different ways. With the algorithms that are out there, it's challenging to show up. So I love that. So Brianna, in the news, obviously, TikTok being a Chinese company and spying on us and all of this, has that discussion come up at your school and kind of how are you handling that?
It came up yesterday, and
Oh,
because TikTok's my baby. That
okay.
it became my little project. I was the one who wanted to get us on it and who pretty much initiated it and said, "We're just gonna do it. Let's try it."
Yeah.
And we have strict rules too on how we monitor what we put out there and what songs we use. But it came up yesterday, and I was like, "Okay, I think I'm gonna have PTSD after y'all tell me this." So, but we know it's in the news. We know
Mhm.
that's a talk that it might be getting banned from government devices. And, until that passes and that becomes actual law, we're kind of, you know, thinking of maybe what we might do, the what ifs. But in a way, it's kind of like, I guess we'll cross it when that
Right.
bridge comes.
Yeah. Which is
So,
which is just fine. I mean, you've got to keep doing what works. And I mean, my advice, and I always, a new year, new goals, and sometimes we always want to add. If your district is not ready to take on TikTok, you can still do these same things, the same type of
yes.
storytelling with this similar reach on Instagram Reels, on Facebook Reels. So I really want to encourage all our listeners, take a look at what Buncombe County Schools is doing there in North Carolina, because the way that you're able to tell stories, to showcase the learning that's happening in a consistent way, like you're really doing a great job. So
Thank you.
I'm excited to continue to watch, and I'm really excited to share. Now,
Yeah.
oh,
And
go
I
ahead.
know real quick though, I know like some districts may not have a large communications department like us. That's why too, I would just really emphasize it's so easy to pull out your cell phone at a school in a classroom and take a few little clips and you can throw them into the Instagram reels. And like I said, you could even have a story so you've got stuff to post like, maybe on a rainy day or a snow day when there's no school, you can make a few videos out of ones you've got saved up on your phone. Super, super easy.
Yeah, I love it. So we kind of talked about ways that you encourage staff to submit content, but you also have a specific social media newsletter. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, my coworker, Han Henson, he's the one, it was his idea. We were sitting in discussions in our department trying to figure out how can we get the schools more involved on social media? How can we get them to tell their story? Because we know a lot of these classrooms, a lot of these schools have great things going on. The teachers are taking pictures. They're putting it in Class Dojo, Seesaw, whatever it may be, their Google Classrooms, but it's not making it onto their Facebook channels or their Instagram channels. So he came up with the idea, what if we do a monthly newsletter? I think he does it maybe bi-monthly. And he picks a topic. Sometimes we all chip in on what that topic may be for that newsletter. It could be STEM related, arts related, Hispanic Heritage Month, whatever it might be. We come up with those topics. He'll showcase some schools that had really strong posts, and we make sure that whoever was featured in the last newsletter isn't featured in the newest one, because we try to spread the love to as many schools as possible. We want to make sure over the course of time that all 45 schools have been represented, you know, um, and we are a large district, so 45 schools, it is kind of sometimes hard to do. But we go on their social media pages, we pick these posts, we screenshot them, link them. I say we, it's really Han who does all that work. Screenshot them, link them to the newsletter, and we tell them, here's what you can do. And I think he also gives them some tips and pointers
Hmm.
on how to keep making these posts really strong and what they can do. And I'm telling you, these social media managers, principals, they're loving it. I go to schools now and they're like, how can I get on that? How can we get our school on it? And so
Yeah.
I'm just giving them some pointers and tips then, like, here's what you can do.
Hmm.
And I mean, they're taking it and they are running with it. They're excited about it. They are posting actively, and we just got a new superintendent, so he knows how crucial social media is to market these schools and get the word out there about what we're doing with the students. So they're really just running with it, and it's been wonderful to see this year.
Yeah, absolutely. So giving some recognition to those people that are telling those stories is really important, and you're also teaching. So it takes a little bit of time, but it's really good reflection, and a reminder. We do report cards like for our schools every quarter to just let them know how many people they're reaching and things like that. Because when you're not a manager of a page, you don't get to see now on TikTok. You do get to see how many people see a video and reels,
Yeah.
but most of the posts, you don't get to see how many people were reached. And so sometimes it's really powerful and can encourage people to continue to tell those stories when they're like, oh my gosh, that post reached 10,000 people. That's really big. So,
Yeah, it's
um,
like they're seeing their hard work paid off.
absolutely. So, kind of as we wrap up, Breanna, you've shared so much great stuff. I'm really excited. But what would you say is your best social media tip?
Best social media tip I would say is to post frequently. Don't let your channels go dark. You know, Constantly find something positive to say about your school. Public schools nowadays are under so much scrutiny and under so much attack. And it's important to show them that, you know, public schools has changed. We're not the same as we were 20, 30 years ago. We're moving with the times. Our kids are more engaged. They're not just sitting at a desk learning from a teacher standing there lecturing all day long. And they're having fun. So
Mhm.
I think it's really important to show how much fun the kids are having in the classroom.
Yeah, definitely. So, what would be the best way, if our listeners want to get connected with you, Brianna, what would be the best way for them to do that?
My email is the best
Okay.
way. So Breanna, Breanna .Hensley, Hensley, at buncombeschools.org.
Okay.
Or no,
Perfect.
no, sorry, it's bcsemail.org.
Okay, awesome. And I'll make sure to link that in the notes as well. So we've got that. Yep, bcsemail.org. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I can't wait to continue to watch your pages. Hopefully we grab a few more followers after this episode. I want to really encourage you to just keep up the great work, Breanna. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And also, I want to send you a flyer that we've got for our staff and teachers about TikTok, about kind of our rules and guidelines of what we do. Because, with songs out there, we don't post every popular song there is. We really screen the lyrics and the artist. And if it's anything controversial, we won't add it to a song or to a video.
Okay, that's a super great point, and thank you so much. So, in the show notes, you guys, that flyer that Breanna is using for her staff to watch out for, because Breanna, you being cautious of it is one thing, but if you've got other people using TikTok, or any of the other social media channels, Reels on Facebook and Instagram, it's really easy to grab a small portion of a song
Mhm.
that part's okay, but really, when you listen to the song, you know what it's about. And it's like, oh my gosh, that is not appropriate for a school.
Yeah,
So,
you may get that mom who's sitting at home and is like, "Oh, that's a cute song," and then let me look it up, and then they start listening to the whole thing, or they look up the lyrics and they're like, "Oh my gosh,
yeah,
I hope they're not teaching my kids this," or, "I hope they're not letting them listen to this at school," and then you could become or come under fire from that mom or community group, and so we really try to keep keep under the radar, so to speak, and keep our songs and our content extremely clean and definitely kid friendly.
yeah, absolutely. And there's so many choices out there. So,
Yes.
great. Well, thank you so much again for hanging out with us, everybody. Keep up the great storytelling. If you try anything based off of this episode, we'd love to hear from you. I'm Andrea at socialschoolforedu.com, or you can tweet at me at Andrea Gribble. So keep up the great work, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.
Bye.
Breanna, welcome back. Things have changed a little bit. So we're doing a little add-on for our awesome interview that we did just a few weeks ago. But tell me what's happening with TikTok at your school.
Well, it was last week, North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper issued a bill that has blocked TikTok on all government or state issued devices. Where we are a public school system, we can no longer use TikTok. So we are not permanently shutting down our account. We're going to still, keep it to where no one else can say that they are Buncombe County Schools and try
Okay.
to imitate us and steal that account for whatever reasons. So we're just, I guess, deactivating or something like that. Going to remove most of the content and just sort of leave it up there, but no longer using it.
Okay. So this is something we teased to when we were talking a little bit, and we're like, well,
Yes.
we'll have to deal with it when it comes, and it has come. And I thought, oh my gosh, we're not gonna trash this episode because you guys are doing amazing storytelling there. There's going to be other school PR people that are listening right now that this may happen in their school districts where their state is saying, hey, you can't have TikTok, security concerns or whatever it is. You had to remove it. So after you finished sobbing, Breanna, right?
Yes.
Two boxes of Kleenex later, you guys sounds like you deactivated it but didn't totally delete it, which you can do on Twitter, you can do on Facebook. Sometimes there's things that blow up at your school with crisis things that sometimes you have to do that.
Yes.
But you're doing it because the government has said. And so what are your plans instead? What, just tell me kind of what's unfolded in this last, week and a half, 2 weeks.
Well, thankfully, when I was uploading all this content on TikTok, I was also putting it on Facebook and Instagram Reels. So all of that content is there. I've also went back through and downloaded all the videos off of the TikTok account and put those in just a closed private Google Drive for me and my team to have. in case we ever need it in the future. It's there. It's not gone away permanently for us in our department. And yeah, we're just transitioning to only using Facebook and Instagram Reels, and we're going to dive into and explore YouTube Shorts. That's something we've not done yet. So we're going to test the waters on that and see how it goes.
Okay. Now, if I hit the link for your TikTok channel, will it say Buncombe County Schools and just have no
Yes.
content?
Currently, we're in the process of deleting majority of the videos. Our
Okay.
last video that we posted will stay up, which just tells viewers if they come across the account somehow that we no longer are posting on that account due to Governor Roy Cooper's mandate. We have transitioned to Facebook and Instagram Reels, and to please follow us there.
I love that. That is great,
Yes.
great advice. So that you're not leaving people hanging. You're going to leave one video out there. You took the steps to download all of the videos. And I'm assuming that if you uploaded those videos, they kind of have the TikTok symbol on them if you
They
upload
they do.
those.
So the ones that I did on TikTok that went to Facebook and Instagram, it's got that TikTok logo.
Yep.
Now when we're doing them on Instagram and Facebook, there's no longer the TikTok logo. So hopefully, fingers crossed, people who see the older videos aren't going to the TikTok account, but if they are, they're being alerted that it's no longer an active account. We're not posting to it anymore, and to just continue to follow us on Instagram or Facebook.
Yeah, and the important thing for people to know, and most people that are using TikTok out there probably know this because you're a little more tech savvy, maybe, although it is pretty intuitive, those platforms to use and create really neat, videos and ways to tell your story. But when you were creating the video once on TikTok, you download that video, it kept the TikTok logo on it, but it's not linking to the TikTok. So when you
No,
when you removed that original video off of your TikTok channel, or you're in the process of doing it, it's not going to impact what you had uploaded on either Instagram or Facebook.
no, nope. It will not impact that, because what I did is with TikTok, the good thing about it is once you upload a video to, if you have a school account or a personal account, it's going to automatically save no matter what to your device. And
Okay.
so once it's saved, that's the video I would then upload on Facebook and Instagram Reels. Occasionally, when we were first getting the ball rolling with the TikTok, I would share out like the link so we could get more followers. Thankfully, it was still a fairly new account for us because it was less than a year old. We did start this back in August. So thankfully, we didn't have thousands of followers. I think we had a little over 300, which isn't much, but for starting out, I mean, that's not bad. So thankfully, it's not like we're losing thousands of followers.
Right. I like that. And, this is just a call out for anybody who is using TikTok to stay closely engaged with your state governments, because they are making some decisions that could impact, and maybe some staff members out there don't realize this or whatever. And I think, again, because you have a state issued device, you can't have it on there. Even
Mhm.
if, what would you say, like, and what have you done? What if a teacher, it's not it's not a school device, it's theirs, but they're
Yes.
using it to celebrate things in their classroom? Have you told them that they can no longer post that?
What we have done, we came up with a statement for our parents and guardians, letting them know we're not going to be using this no more due to Governor Roy Cooper's mandate. It will be going away, and follow us again on the Facebook and Instagram. Also, a second statement is sent out to principals and our social media managers, letting them know, hey, if your school has a TikTok account or your student organization has one, please download and save all your videos, upload them to Instagram Reels or Facebook. And we're doing that, because we had a few and we monitored it really closely because we didn't want to advertise to the schools, hey, go make your own TikTok account because 45 schools, that's a lot to monitor and kind of control and make sure like everything is appropriate and good to go. And we wouldn't be getting any backlash from the community on it. So, what few people already went and had TikToks to prior to us making the Buncombe County Schools one, we've just told them, we're sorry, but it's got to go.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's not our decision that we had to make.
Right.
It's from the higher ups.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just the messenger, right?
Yeah, just the
Um,
messenger. Don't shoot us.
Yeah. So I really like your approach. You've really thought it well through. If in our show notes we've got contact information for you. So if you've got more questions for Breanna, certainly reach out. But I really appreciate you coming back and sharing this little update. All of a sudden Breanna emailed, she's like, "Oh my gosh, this might change things with our podcast interview." And I'm like, this is actually perfect because there's going to be somebody that needs this help. So, is there any other advice that you would give to any schools out there, either
Yeah.
still thinking about starting TikTok or if they've got TikTok? What would you say?
Yeah, because, some states maybe already be on the verge of contemplating it like North Carolina went through and did. Some states may do that. They may be like North Carolina and go on ahead and say, nope, can't have it. Some might just be waiting on the government to come out and say, yeah, no, it can't be on there. So if you want to experiment and try, if your state hasn't made any bans against it, go on ahead and try it, experiment with it, see how it goes. Um, Otherwise, too, what I would tell people, go on ahead and make the account for your school or your school system, whatever it may be. That way it's locked in and in there because you don't want to get a teenager who thinks they're funny and silly posting inappropriate content about your school system and then people thinking that's the legit TikTok account.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, good advice. Well, thanks again, Breanna. And keep up the great work. I know that the interface on creating like an Instagram reel is different than TikTok, but it's still pretty easy to use, right?
Once you've used TikTok, I mean, it's pretty similar.
Okay.
This week I've just noticed like there's some features on there like transitions and things like that that I didn't see on TikTok that I like.
Mhm.
Um, then on Facebook, I've noticed you don't have as much of a song selection like you do on Instagram, which is a
Right.
little frustrating. Because
Yes.
I'm like, you can get some really good songs on the Instagram reels and then go to Facebook and it's not there.
Yeah, and that's frustrating. And there is no, we've emphasized you got to have a creator account on Instagram to get all the music unlocked or all the audio options. But Facebook, there's not really that setting. And yes, if you can download a video that you create on Instagram
Mhm.
Reels onto your phone and then upload it onto Facebook Reels, but it strips any audio that you had added
Yeah.
from the app. And so you if you go to try to find that same song, you may not be able to. So
Yeah,
I
which is really frustrating too, because, any of these videos that we're doing, like I'm saving them into a Google Drive just so, they're there if we ever have to go back and use them for whatever again in the future. And so I'm downloading them and there's no audio.
yeah, it can be challenging. But again, glad that you've been able to kind of make some transitions, move around and
Hey,
we
we're
don't.
making lemonade out of lemons over here.
Yes, I love that. Lemonade out of lemons. Well, thanks again, Breanna, and everybody. Good luck with this. If you've got more questions, you can just reach out. So we'll see you next time.
Okay, bye.